Don't ever be embarrassed or afraid to define things the way God does in His Word. Call things the way God does. Use the gift of language that God gave you to speak rightly about the realities He has established.
From Living Word Church, you're listening to the Living the Word podcast, encouraging you to walk steadfastly in your Christian faith.
Words are significant. Words define things. Language is what we are gifted with by our Creator for the purpose of giving meaning to our lives. The fact we are able to communicate at such a high level as human beings is what separates us from the animal world. As much as I love my cat, that's a gross understatement, my cat cannot communicate like I do because she wasn't created by God for that purpose. We, Homo sapiens, are given the gift of language. We are given the privilege of using words to describe the experiences we have each and every day. We give names to our children. We have names for our churches and schools. We use words to describe how we feel or what we think about our favorite sports team's performance. Words define. Words give shape. Words give meaning. We are given this privilege of communication because we are created in the image of God, and God is an intelligent communicator. After all, His words created the world. His words gave light to our existence. So why all this talk about words? I read a story in the news last week about West Point. West Point is a training academy for the United States Army. They have had a mission statement for over 100 years. As a part of that mission statement, they used 3 primary words to describe the mission of Army cadets. The words were duty, honor, country. These 3 words have been the summary words that have defined the 3 commitments that those who are training for service need to commit to: duty, honor, and country. The superintendent, Lieutenant General Steve Gilland, announced that West Point was removing those 3 defining words from their mission statement. Those 3 words are very significant when you think about what it means to be in the military. Those who serve in the military, it would seem, are serving because they feel it is a duty and an honor, and they are serving for their country. Those 3 words would likely define the core of what it means for most to serve in any branch of the military. We have been living in a time in our country where the words we use to define things are subject to alteration based upon the political winds of the day. Corporations and schools, the military and churches all feel pressure to not use the words that have always defined the realities given us by our Creator. People now don't want to call a woman, or a man, or a marriage as the Bible uses certain words to describe it. Our society has been taken captive by what some have called the woke media, or a woke perspective. I would call it an evil perspective. Whenever we can no longer say words in our public discourse that have long defined the realities that our Creator has given us, we are no longer in a society that celebrates truth. When people or businesses or churches, for fear of being canceled or smeared on the internet, when they refuse to use the privilege of language given them by their Creator to define His realities with the words that He has given us, that is not just woke ideology. That is an evil world system that is motivated by Satan, who has long sought to undermine God's good design. So it's really just 3 simple words: duty, honor, country. But I think it is another reflection of how far we have drifted to the bottom in our culture. Don't ever be embarrassed or afraid to define things the way God does in His Word. Call things the way God does. Use the gift of language that God gave you to speak rightly about the realities He has established. You might get canceled, but you won't be guilty of lying.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you would like to submit a potential question, a topic, or an idea for a future episode, or learn more about the Living the Word podcast, you can visit us at livingwordhoma.com. We would like to say thanks to all of you who subscribed, shared episodes, and left reviews. Living the Word podcast is a production of Living Word Church in Houma, Louisiana, under the leadership of Pastor Ben Buffkin. Our prayer is that you will remain faithful to living the Word.